All right, what's going on, everybody? So, a few things I want to get into. That's a little better. Archangels, more into Kabbalah, depolarization, demons, systems, and whatever else comes into mind. Let's start with that. That's a good enough topic, I think. So, why has those archangels either been created to abolish demons, or how does that help you talk to your mind? If I am saying demons are part of us and we have to embrace that side, and the archangels are part of us and we have to embrace that side. So why were those angels created to take over the demons, and how and what do I mean by, well, if the angels are created, the demons are created, why and how can one destroy or come over that side? So let's get into that. Let's talk about that. Let's see what we can come up with. I never even really thought too much about this. I've always assumed the angels, demons in the basement, are angels upstairs kind of thing. You know, they're just within us, and lower nature, higher nature, lower chakras, higher nature, higher chakras. You know, I just, go along with it. So let's break that down and see where we can get with that. And also I want to maybe get into chakras and planets, and how doing planetary magic isn't just like using your chakras. However, planetary magic, you can think of it as influencing the chakras within your body to do things for you and help manifestation, help balance, help so many things. If you associate a certain planet with one of your chakras, and I always say, there are specific ones online that tell you this chakra is this, but sometimes you may not resonate with that completely. And I've had that issue a few times now. Like my sacral, I always thought of as moon, but then I see some things where the moon is up top and then Jupiter is up top, but yet Jupiter associated to the feet, Pisces, fish, two of them tied at the tail, kind of like your feet, right? But anyways, so I'll get into that as well if I have time later. That'll probably be the second half. First half, I want to talk about the demons and the angels and how it's beneficial, whatever system you're using, I don't care, but how to think of it as they are opponents, but friends within your body, I guess. And yesterday I might have alluded to it, but now I've said it straight out, that the angels are a thought form created to help control the demons within your body, to help restrain them if things are happening. Now, once again, if your demons within your body, you're associating them with the old gods, then this isn't for you, and you don't need this. You don't need to listen to this, because if you're assuming your demons within your body are gods and the angels are in fact demons, well, then you might have the opposite polarity, but same kind of idea. That's not for me to judge, and I don't know your system, so I'm not going to pretend to know your system. I'm not going to pretend to be able to tell you how to do this. But within my system, the one I use, how it's helped me, what I assume, because when you do an invocation, all you're doing is calling them to the quarters. That's it. They're just there. As I know people have asked Freight or Xavier the question, will the angels restrict my magic if I'm doing something that's, less than desirable, that isn't technically of a good nature? Will they fuck me over? And, you can call on justice sometimes, but if you call on justice and you deserve justice will take you down as well. If, because you're like, this person fucked me over. But if you fucked over a few people as well, and this is part of your karma, when you're calling on justice to help you out, well, then justice is going to help you out, but it's also going to help the people that you fucked over as well. Because it's not just going to look at them, it's going to look at you. It's coming through you to find out all the people that fucked you over. But yeah, you're going to be part of that cycle as well. So you got to make sure you know what you're doing before you call on justice. And trust me, I've never called on justice. I don't want that shit. But nonetheless, the angels were created to restrict these lower nature beings that may have come through you. Now, I don't care what you want to think of this as, okay? You can think of it as any way you want. You can think of it as the 72 demons are actually within your body, or they're outside of you influencing you. doesn't matter, equally works the same. It really depends on how you comprehend the situation. If you comprehend it a certain way, go with that. And eventually you'll come into different knowledge later. Don't let someone tell you you're wrong. Don't let someone tell you that what you're doing is wrong. Do it my way. Buy my product. I'll teach you the right way. You're fucking wrong. Fuck you. Fuck you. There's enough free information out there that you can come to your own conclusions. Now, if you're going to buy products from people, buy products that match what you're doing, that are shortcuts or ways of doing stuff. If you're trying to manifest something and it's not working out, let's say you try the stuff I tell you, and somehow you're missing something or it's just not working, well, then you go to Frederick Xavier, because he's doing my type of what I'm doing, quality weight work, self transformation, and he's probably already whizzed through those fucking those grades. Therefore, he knows, and he's going to teach you the right way to do it. So if you buy a product from him, it's taking a shortcut there. But if you switch systems altogether, then you got to restart a new system, which might be what you need. Who knows? But that should be the reason to buy stuff, not because someone tells you you're wrong and you got to do introspection. Think of it as like the Shrek movies. Shrek movies are a way to demolish some of the older. I think the first Shrek movie is kind of like Beauty and the Beast, but in reverse, especially at the end. I mean, they make fun of various movies within there. It's kind of like a scary movie for fairy tales, where a scary movie makes fun of all the scary movies put together in a funny way. Well, this is what Shrek does. Shrek has done for like fairy tales. And in that one, she turns back into the beast. It's the girl. So right there, it's reverse. It's not the guy, it's the girl, right? And the girl realizes she just wants love. She doesn't care what she looks like. Love is better than beauty. You don't need to be beautiful to find love, because there's somebody out there that'll love you for who you actually are. And that's a beautiful message. Beautiful message. And within that movie, Shrek continuously finds out, or lets people tell him that he's no good. Right off the hop, he believes he's no good because people are always scared of him, telling him he's a monster, whatever. He believes it. Goes around believing it. Then he meets Donkey. Donkey likes him for who he is. He doesn't give a fuck. He just wants a friend. But he wants someone to return that favor to him. And Shrek continuously shits on him over and over again, making fun of him, calling names. Yet Shrek walks around like a fucking victim because that's happened to him. But he's doing the same fucking thing he was programmed, that he was, the only thing he saw was people shitting on him. So he regurgitates that same shitting on Donkey, right? So over and over and over again. And then when he hears them having a conversation in the first movie, he hears Donkey and her having a conversation. He assumes they're talking about him, victim mode, everything's about me. And then everything goes to hell. And Donkey has to fucking knock some sense into him. And Donkey ends up and then, as soon as that's done, as soon as Shrek realizes, oh, they weren't talking about me? Who are they talking about? He instantly wants to be Donkey's friend again, but he's ready to shoot him to the curb before that. It's kind of a dick move, but friends aren't perfect. None of this shit's perfect. Nothing's perfect. Get that idea out of your head that you're going to find some perfect love out there that's just going to click. That's just going to click and be beautiful. It's not going to happen. It's not possible. All right, sorry about that. Daughter had to have a bath. That's why you hear the ABC songs and nursery rhymes in the background. Like I said, I took this principle of using, if you want to learn something, rather put it on a recorder or record it yourself, in your own words, like affirmations in your mind, or you want to learn a book, or you want to learn a book faster, you put it on while you sleep. And then, you're going to have that knowledge within you somewhere. It's going to get pulled out. You got to accept it. Anyways, I used that premise for my daughter being 3 years old. Being a Scorpio, turning 4 in October, which it's funny enough, like I said before, she's ascendant Scorpio, descendant Taurus, and I'm ascendant Taurus, descendant Scorpio. So kind of cool how we are opposites like that. And she might be my favorite. No, that's bad to say. But fuck it, she might be. Anyways, but I took that premise, and like I said, ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, I play them at night for her, and she doesn't say 1 to 10 all the time. She doesn't say A, B, C through to G all the time, but she can now, whereas before I did this, she couldn't. So it's helping unlocking this stuff in her head, and babies are all just subconscious mind in the sense of they're just like recording everything going on around them right now. So you want to teach your daughter repetition, 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 repetition. That's what you got to do over and over again, or do the stuff at night. Putting a TV on for your daughter at night is probably not the best thing, but and maybe do your research on Bluetooth headphones or headphones in general if you think they're safe for children, and get the safest pair you can. Maybe hide it, and then have just the audio on. So she's listening to something, but not using her visual. So she stays awake. So she's watching. So she's got those positive ions bombarding her. You know, you can have a computer in another room, but have it Bluetooth connected and listening to it. So there's ways around these things that are bad. And, you know, maybe you don't do it every day of the week. Maybe you do it twice a week if you're worried about certain effects. Because once again, you got to be around stuff to build up immunity against it. But if you're bombarded with it every day over and over again, well, then that's when the danger arises, right? Anyways, I'm gonna put my shades on, but fuck it, who cares? So Shrek hears Fiona and Donkey talking, and he's at this point almost has enough courage to say, hey Fiona, I like you. Do you like me? And he comes in, and first excuse he gets to not go through with his plan, because he already doesn't want to, because he's got so much fear of doing it and accepting himself and saying, you know what, maybe someone can love this monster that I thought I was my whole life, that I've been told I was my whole life. And though the first excuse he gets when he doesn't know all the information or even hear them mention his name, he decides that, oh fuck, they're talking about me. Shit, she hates me. Donkey hates me. What a good fucking friend he was. I was finally gonna let a friend in, even though he shat on that friend the whole fucking time and made fun of him and insulted him the same way he was being insulted. He's playing victim mode, but yet he's insulting someone the same way he's been insulted. And he chooses to, oh yeah, you're such a good friend, you backstabber. Oh no, you're wrong, Shrek, fuck. You're too close to it to see what's going on. But anyways, so, but over and over again in that movie, Shrek is told he's a monster, and he ends up finding Fiona, who turns into the same quote-unquote monster that he is, and she decides that I'd rather be, I think in that movie, she misses the kiss and she turns into the thing, and he says, you never look beautiful or something like that, and they're happy. When you find someone that accepts you for who you are, then you're closer to that idea of perfection, that perfect love, that perfect relationship than you've ever been. But there's nothing that's just gonna happen that you're automatically gonna be, oh man, it's like I knew this person my whole life. That happened with me and my wife, yet I don't know that much about her. There's things I still don't know about her, but I'm finding those out. We're living together, you know. There's this idea of marriage that people think is a bad thing, to marry someone before you know them. Like, you know, people say you should live together first. It's more practical, you know, and I understand that. That does make sense in a certain sense that, you know, but in the same way, by saying, you know, I take you for all your flaws, you take me for all our flaws, we're going to join together now in marriage, and then we're going to go live together. And it doesn't matter how much of the things I don't like that you do. It doesn't matter how much of the things you don't like that I do. We are both going to try to even the scales a bit. So when I do something that you don't like, you're going to tell me in a nice way, and I'm going to see how much wiggle room I have to make that better. You know, maybe I can't do exactly what you want me to do, but maybe I can meet you somewhere in the middle, and the other person does the same. And you're continually building something together, meeting each other in the middle, because she has one idea of the way you should be, you have one idea of the way she should be, you have your own idea how you should be, she has her own idea how she should be, and you're going to make that meet all in the middle. And then you decide to raise kids in this crazy world, and you both have an idea of what the kids should do. And then maybe you go to grandma and grandpa once in a while to find out if what you're doing is okay, and see if they can give you some constructive criticism to make that look better. And you continually keep evolving and evolving and evolving together as a unit, as one family, but yet you're all separate people. Well, that's how our world, in my opinion, should be. We should be doing that with each other. We should be evolving each other and helping each other out, instead of criticizing to break down, instead of criticizing to make yourself feel better than somebody. You criticize to help someone, and then they give you the same thing in return. And then we all end up linked and together and unity, and then we build this world as we can collectively see. Because if someone thinks the world should be one way, well, they might have some good ideas about that, but some of it might be just fucking whacked, and maybe they just can't see that yet. Maybe they just don't have all the information. Maybe they don't have all the variables to make that assumption well. And then when you come in and you tell them, well, they think you're fucking whack for a while. But then if two other people come in and say, oh, no, those ideas are good, those ideas are bad. This is the whole democracy thing idea, right? You can't have one person choosing for the whole world, because that's when corruption can happen. And too much power to one's head, when people put someone on a plateau as well, then things can happen and things can come out of them. But anyways, the Shrek movie is another good way to look around things. Now, on the surface, it looks like Universal's way of dissing Disney, but in all honesty, it's the same idea. The Beauty and the Beast story was the beast had to transform, and you know, the divine feminine helped the divine masculine, and the divine masculine helped the divine feminine. She wanted adventure. She wanted something more than a boring life, because her life is supposed to be just raise kids and all that. And, you know, women don't want to be told, oh, their job is just to raise kids. No, but I'm not saying that is their job, because it's not their job, but they do have that responsibility. And if they want to, they can. And if they don't want to, they don't have to, because there's other women out there. So it's all up to the woman. They don't have to. And Belle's one of those women who wasn't okay with just an ordinary life. But she met the beast. And she was okay with having an ordinary life with the beast after she had her adventure. She had this adventure with him. She helped him change. He helped her change in the way of, he gave her the adventure she was looking for. He gave her the fun and the excitement and, you know, the dark side revelations within her, you know, that she needed to experience. And when she experienced that, everything was good. She's okay now. She's okay now. Now, eventually, you're still going to need to have these adventures and fun experiences throughout your life over and over again, but maybe they're not the same magnitude. And maybe sometimes they're bigger. Who knows? But point is, that's a story of the divine feminine, divine masculine coming together, and outside influences trying to take over them, trying to control them. You know, the sun, Mars trying to force beauty into a role of be a mom, do what you're told and shut up and just go along with society, because this is the way society's been. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. You know, Saturn trying to lock up her father for being crazy when he's just trying to express what his passion is. You know what I mean? He's supposed to be an inventor, but he's got to get through all the stigma. Maybe he has to break through that, and then once he breaks through that, he's able to invent without any outside interference. So, point of all that is just to say that Shrek is not much different from that story, where it's the divine masculine, divine feminine in a different way. Now, it focuses on the divine masculine point of view rather than the divine feminine's point of view, but nonetheless, you still need the divine feminine to come in and be okay. The divine feminine was this beautiful princess who would like Shrek for him. Beauty and the Beast, once again. This princess was able to fall in love with a green monster, even though she was a princess. But the reason she was able to do that is because within her, she had the same dark side as his light side. Kind of like I just said with me and my daughter. I'm Taurus on the outside, Scorpio on the inside. She's Scorpio on the outside, Taurus on the inside. She was able to understand Shrek and have things in common with Shrek and do enjoy the same things, because at night, subconscious mind, she turned into a Shrek herself, an ogre herself. And therefore, she embraced her dark side, and because of it, she found happiness with Shrek. Shrek, same way. He had to embrace his dark side. His dark side was, I'm a fucking monster. I'm a monster. I'm a monster. And you know what? He said, you know what? I am maybe what they think is a monster, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with what they think I am, because I know inside I'm not really that. When he embraced that, he found friends, happiness, love, his home. He ends up having kids and all that shit. So, but that's the Shrek movie in a nutshell with some symbology. Now, that's not all of it. There's so much more. And there's some that I can't even tell you, because you're gonna have to figure it out for yourself. But to me, that's what these things mean. If I'm gonna watch TV, this is what I watch TV to do. I figure out how these TV shows are telling me a story that's important to me. But the real message I was trying to draw from the whole Shrek analogy, comparison, metaphor, whatever, was if you were following a system and you're listening to somebody, let's say, whether your system is working or not, let's just assume first that it's working. Okay, your system is working, you're manifesting stuff. And then you go and listen to somebody else who is a guru, a teacher, whatever the case is, and they tell you that, like me, I hear it often that, because I'm not necessarily for Christianity, because some of the things it does or teaches, or, you know, I have the belief that Christianity basically is a religion for the masses, for people to be able to go to work, do their thing, have a regular mundane life, still pay their taxes and be part of society without corrupting and being evil and going around killing people and doing crazy things just because there's no creator. I think it's for the people before they decide for themselves what spirituality they want. I think it serves a purpose that way. Because if people don't have something like that, then they can be depressed, they can commit suicide, they can go around looting and just terrorizing, because there's nothing there to say, hey, if you don't do this, whenever you're done, if they need somebody to be watching over them so they do something good. But ultimately, you have to find out within yourself what spirituality is, who's the creator, if you are in fact a creator or not, if there is in fact a hell or not. You have to get these questions answered. And if you say you're a Christian but you don't go to church, well, along the line somewhere, eventually down the line, you're going to figure out that, okay, well, maybe this shit isn't right, and you're going to have this happen. Do you want this to happen when you're 80 years old, or do you want it to happen when you're fucking 20 years old, or 30 or 40 or 50? You want it to happen sooner because you can't do much later. By the time you get to that age and you gotta start doing research, the computers are gonna be so much harder. Like if I was 80 years old and I have to figure out spirituality and I gotta do my own research, the technology is gonna be above my mind ability maybe to comprehend, depending on if I take my life seriously or not now. But if all I do is go to work and drink beer and watch TV and eat bad food, well, I might not even get to 80. But because I'm learning spirituality, because I'm learning my body as a temple, because I'm learning that I have to do good things, things like me smoking eventually is going to be out the back door. I do believe you do have to intake a little bit of poison to inoculate yourself from stuff, but anything unbalanced, if I'm having, 8 smokes a day, then maybe I can maintain. Maybe if I'm having 4 smokes a day, maybe it's only 1 smoke a day. Maybe it's only 4 smokes a month. I don't know. Maybe I got to find some balance. And maybe at that point, it's not even meant to do that. Maybe you shouldn't even be, there's no point to have 4 smokes only a month. Regardless, we have to figure out what is real, what is true for us. But I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. Anyway, so the Shrek movie analogy, if you have a spirituality like mine, Kabbalah, and people start saying, hey, that's an Abrahamic religion, what you're doing is wrong, and that gets in your head, it could fuck you up. Yet you've gotten results. Yet you've gotten, you're able to meditate. You're able to find all this information out to help your body. You've been healthier than you've ever been. Things are happening for you. Your life is going in a great direction. Maybe the person saying it looks wealthy and great and they got even more set up than you, so it's telling you, fuck. Maybe they have more subscribers than you, so you're like, fuck, maybe they're right, maybe they're right. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're complaining about money. Maybe they don't have enough money. Maybe they don't have enough subscribers to them, which might be more than what you have. And so all these things come into play, like, what the fuck? He says he's this and that, but yet he's saying I'm wrong. And it's like, well, maybe it's the other person. Maybe there's nothing wrong with your system. Just because someone who doesn't know you, who doesn't know your circumstances, who maybe doesn't do your practice, tells you your practice is wrong. Don't take the outside influence. Don't let the outside world tell you that you're a fucking ogre, that what you're doing is a monster and is wrong. And it is of the very thing you hate, and it's just a byproduct of it. Because best case scenario, they're trying to get you just to buy their product and they don't mean that stuff. Worst case scenario, they're just someone trying to get you to go back to the other religion or whatever the case is. Who knows? It's never black and white. There's always shades of gray, but sorry about that. So don't let the outside world tell you that what you're doing is wrong, because maybe Kabbalah was made to get people to do a version of Christianity. But in all honesty, if I go tell a priest what I'm doing right now, with the candles and the daggers and the wands and the pentagrams and the elements and the suns and all that, first of all, I don't worship anything, and I made that very clear. And I tell people that. I'm gonna actually change my fucking video on my YouTube to the one where I say that. I don't worship shit. I don't worship the planets. I don't worship the elements. I don't worship Gaia. I don't worship anything, not even myself. If I was to worship something, it would be myself, but I don't even worship that. I don't worship a goddamn thing. I am grateful to these things that influence my reality. I am grateful for the ability to speak to these outside influences that are really inside, which is the big secret. What's above is below, what's outside is within, which means that sun that's inside of you is also above you, is also below you, is also in your buddy next door, is also in everything. Same with the Jupiter and the Saturn and the Venus and the Mercury and the Mars and the moon. It's within everybody, and it's above and below. So when you get in cycle in sync with the 4 seasons, then you get in sync with the 4 ways that it's above, below, within, without. And then that influences your planetary. Anyways, that's what I'm going to be talking about later when I say planetary magic. It has to do with chakras and all that, but chakras isn't planetary magic. But there's 4 cycles, just like as above, so below, as within, so without. And there's another one to that. There's 2 more aspects to that, which is something else you have to figure out, but I'm not figuring that one out yet, so I'm not going to talk about it. Even though, these things look obvious on the outside, but they're never obvious. As above, so below. It seems like, oh yeah, it means what's in space is what's in the ground, and the universe and galaxy above is in the ground. Yeah, well, that's what it says in the book. I mean, that's not much thinking upon your part. Anybody fucking can say that. The fuck does that mean? So don't let outside people tell you your shit is of the devil, or is of the same religion that tells you it's of the devil. It's just their point of view is what they are doing is the best because they got results from it. But if you're getting results from what you have, then great. And if you tried theirs and you get better results, well then great. But programming is programming. You tell somebody something enough times, it can get in their head. And if it's over and over and over again, it can affect what they're doing. Don't let people affect you that way. Don't let people get inside your head and tell you what you're doing is wrong. I've made that mistake a few times, and that's what made me stop doing things, try other things, and all that did was confuse me more and realize what I was doing was working, was right, and the bad information was from the person telling me that what I was doing was wrong. And when you look down the line, it's just because they want more hits, they want more people, they want more subscribers, they want more people to buy their products, so they want people to turn away from what they're doing and working on. So don't let that shit fool you. And that's all I wanted to say when I draw on the whole Shrek analogy, was that don't let people tell you what you're not, because that's what happened. Shrek was confident. He was right on the money. Fiona was digging him. And then he heard something and he assumed, he let his mind assume and go run away with those thoughts that, okay, I'm just a monster, I'm no good. Just like in the beginning, you know, he ran from every person, everything, everybody wanted to kill him, everybody hated him, but yet Donkey runs up to him and he's his best friend, even though he abuses him and playing victim mode, but being a fucking, you know, someone who's victimizing at the same time. Don't, if you believe in something, don't let somebody else change what it is. Even if what you might be believing is something that might be wrong. Who knows? Let's just assume what you're doing isn't right, isn't working. But you need to learn it. You need to learn a lesson from it. You didn't start it. Your mind didn't tell you to look at this. Nothing all came together in this way, shape, or form just for you to just realize you were wrong. This happened for a reason. All right. So like I said previously, I did this mistake before where I doubted what I was doing, even though I had some evidence that it was working. I was told that, no, there is such thing as coincidence, and if you do this, it'll be all made clear, blah, 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 and stupidly enough, I followed that line of thinking, and ultimately, I found out what I was doing was right, and what they were trying to teach and sell was false, bullshit. So, and who knows, maybe in some way, shape, or form, what they were teaching would work. Maybe it was just the programming I put into my mind for my system to work. There's a reason why theirs didn't work and mine did. Maybe it all comes down to that. What you implant in yourself over time is what plays out. So if I spent 2 months implanting that this is the program, this is what I want to do, this is what I want, this is how I'm going to manifest, then I go and try some other system for a few days. Well, obviously that's not going to work because I have this programming in me. But nonetheless, that experience, I learned from it. So if you do decide to pick the wrong one and it doesn't end up working out, well, then down the line, you're going to find out that what you were doing ultimately was right, like I did, and it's going to be proof. And then every time someone comes along after and says, your shit is wrong, your shit is bad, don't do this, bad little boy, you're really doing Christianity is of the devil, or you're really doing the devil's work, and Christianity is the way, and whatever else bullshit they're trying to shoot at you, you're just going to be like, you know what, fuck off. Ultimately, it comes down to, are you in abundance, or are you in scarcity? And people trying to oversell their stuff, that have to make fun of other spiritualities, in my opinion and in my view, and I know other people that would agree with this, they are in scarcity. They're scared. They are scared. They're in lack. They think there's not enough money around the world for everybody. Therefore, they think they got to take from other spiritualities to get money for themselves. They don't realize that if they were just true to themselves and spoke their truth and promoted their stuff without having to take down other people's stuff and try to help people and provided a service, whether it's a small service to get them involved in what you're actually selling for money, or you're just providing a service, period, free of charge, whatever, just to get people involved so they go see someone else, kind of like I do, then people will be drawn to that. People will be magnetized by that. Now, people can still be drawn to the negativity you put out there and you dissing other religions and other systems because they might have the same beliefs, so you might get them drawn in like that. But they're not going to buy shit off you. They're just going to come along and piggyback. But yeah, he's right. You fucking know the devil, bro. And they're like, yeah. So you agree with me? Hey, you want to buy my product? No, fuck you. I don't do that shit. No, you're not going to get anywhere with it. So, but this is an example of what I was trying to say is ultimately, if you do pick the wrong path, well, it's going to tell you which one is right. You're going to learn from those experiences, and there might be something within everything that's going to help you. Meaning, if you pick something that doesn't work for you, there might be a small practice within there that might work for you. I don't use everything out of the book of Initiation into Hermetics, but I use multiple things, like what you do with food before you eat it, like how you treat your skin so you can eventually breathe out of your skin, and how to keep yourself younger, and a lot of the mental exercises. That book is mainly a mental form of work. And in all honesty, when you get to a certain point, the way I feel about this anyways, is you can start doing mental magic just within your head. Reject, banish, deny was the first thing that the book Kabbalah Great Work of Self-Transformation taught me. Yet I use it now more than I did in the beginning, and it's because it takes a while for that to come into practice. That's why he teaches you it right at the beginning of the book, so that it takes a while for it to sink in. But when that sinks in, it really grabs you by the nuts and shows you that this is the way to control your world, your life. Because if you want to manifest an outside situation to happen to you, with that, go to your altar, make a sigil, do that shit. But the things that are going to play out in your day-to-day right now, or the things that your subconscious is going to send to you, say, hey, you want to accept or deny this, or accept or banish this away, accept or banish this away. This is like today's stuff that's going to happen. If you accept it, this is going to happen today, next week, next month, over and over and over again. If you banish it, then you start a trend of saying, no, I'm no longer doing this shit. I'm going this way now. You're making a choice, but it's like, no, I accept it. I'm going to do drugs today. No, I accept it. I'm going to do drugs today. And then, but you go around telling people, I want to quit. I want to quit. But yet you're accepting those shitty fucking thoughts over and over again. Well, what do you think is going to happen? So if you want to take your life by the fucking reins, you get in sync with the nature part, like get that down, because that's going to help you fucking tenfold to do the big manifestations. You want 10 grand, you fucking write it down, you can get it. But you also have to be accepting the right thoughts at the same time, because you're going to get that into the subconscious. You're going to get that into the collective conscious. You're going to get everybody's subconscious that needs to help you get that 10 grand all lined up, ready to go. And then the day of, or the week before, or whatever, you're going to get these thoughts that are going to say, hey, you need to go this way to get the 10 grand. If you banish that away, then that's wrong. If you accept something of the opposite polarity, like, oh, I'll never get that 10 grand, over and over and over again, well, then that could happen. There's a fine line there between giving up on something and banishing it away. When you give up on it, saying it's not going to happen, or later on you don't straight out banish it, then it could manifest. But then there's also banishing away the thoughts that would draw you closer to it. But all of this to say is, this is the first line of mental magic, and like I said, he put it in the beginning of the book. Yet it's something I use more now than ever. And sometimes I don't even have to do ritual or visualization. And, I try to meditate every day, but there are days where I don't do it, but I still get manifestation to happen. So nonetheless, this is all just to promote taking your thoughts by the nuts and saying, no, you're not controlling me, I'm controlling you. If you take your thoughts by the nuts, if you fucking are able to control your thoughts to a certain extent, because you don't get to pick what thoughts come into your mind, but you get to pick which ones play out. You get to accept or banish them away. That's what you get to choose of. That is ultimately your fucking free will, if you want to go that way. That's ultimately how you control your life, because if you can't control your thoughts, well, then they're going to control you. Whatever you're watching is going to create different thoughts. Whatever you're hearing is going to create different thoughts. Whatever you're touching, you're experiencing, it's going to create. Whatever you're eating creates different thoughts. So it's very important to know which ones you're going to take on and which ones you're not. Every single thought that comes in your head, you accept or you banish, reject, deny. Why is there 3 negative ones and 1 positive one? Well, because we tend to get more negative thoughts than positive ones. Because that's the way you've been programmed your whole life, that bad things are just going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. And that's just a way to tell you to accept all bad thoughts. Once you start banishing away those bad thoughts, then you start getting an abundance of good thoughts. And then you pull yourself out of scarcity and you put yourself into abundance. You're still going to get some thoughts of scarcity coming in. Obviously, that's inevitable. But the majority of them are going to be abundance thoughts. Instead of saying, oh, I'm never going to be rich, you're going to be like, how fucking rich do you want to be? Oh, I accept that thought. Well, no, I'm asking a question. No, I don't care. I accept all riches. I want to be fucking loaded, bitch, so I can help everybody else be rich. Whatever you want. Anyways, this is not what I'm supposed to talk about. So I'm going to just put this out there as a video, and then I'm going to come back to the subject at hand in the next one. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you haven't. Do what you will. Know thyself. Have a great time. Enjoy life. Be kind. Please rewind and watch again. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.